Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be showing you what my art supplies are really. So if you've seen in a few videos I've been like doing art or doing my A Level coursework or even showing you my GCSE coursework a while back, and I've had a couple of questions as to where I get my where my supplies are, or where my supplies are, where I get my supplies from, what they are, and you know, all of that kind of stuff. So I thought I would make this video. Basically it's everything I use for art that's at my house. I also use the school supplies every now and then, but mainly I use this stuff now. First thing, as always, this is not me bragging. This is not me like showing off like, oh look at this, the expensive thing that I've got. I have saved up for these and I have been collecting all of this stuff since the beginning of year 10, and I'm now towards the end of year 12. So I started, you know, becoming more serious with art at the beginning of year 10 when I started my GCSE coursework, and now in A Level I decided, like in the summer holidays before year 12 if you get what I mean, I decided to upgrade some of my stuff to get ready for A Level art. Some of the stuff is also birthday presents. So does anyone else get like the main birthday present, which is like the one that the family chips into and then you get random bits as well? Some of the stuff is my main birthday presents, but basically I'll go through that in detail when we get to it. Other than that, hopefully this is helpful. So I'll start off with this thing. This is my art folder. This is what I take into school most days when I take it home or bring it in for my art lessons. Now it carries quite a decent amount. I can't remember where I got this from, but this is one of the cheap things. I think this was like £2 from, I want to say Coleman's, but Coleman's is normally more expensive than that, so I don't know whether it's Coleman's or not. I do have another one as well. So I do also have this black one, which is a zip up one, bit more secure than this one. It was also more expensive, but this holds some of my like GCSE stuff and old books, all that kind of stuff. So basically that's not the one that's in use, this one is. And to be honest, the main reason I don't use that big old, like the black one, is because it doesn't fit in my locker. Because this one, as you can see, is bendy and it's flimsy, and when my book isn't in it, it can be, you know, scrunched up. The other one is solid and my locker is just too small, like height wise, to fit it in. So this is the one I use, and inside it came with a cardboard divider, which is quite handy. I've also used that, as you can see, with paint, because I don't have like when I do acrylic paint, if I'm doing an A3 piece on paper, then I don't want to get paint on the tablecloth, so I use that and just get paint all over that. I have random scraps of paper in here, but this is the thing I wanted to show you. So that's now useless. This is my A Level, I just whacked myself in the head then, A Level art sketchbook. I don't know how much of this I can actually show you because it is still, like, it's yet to be examined, and some exam boards are a bit funny about showing your work online. So I've only shown snippets before, and I've had to actually private one of my videos because it's got like a load of images of all my stuff in, so that's not good. But this is, I have no idea where the school gets it from. It's one of those things where the school gets it from a supplier at a discount, and then we can buy it from the school. If that helps in any way, it's got pigs in it. That's all I can tell you. It's called Pink Pig Sketchbooks, made in Yorkshire. That's it. This is just standard cartridge paper. Let's get to a blank page. It's quite thick, but it's not useful for things like watercolour as much. It can hold some watercolour, but really it's meant for sketching, acrylic, anything else like that. Moving on to that, I only really have one other pad, because normally if I need paper I'll use it from school, so the school has cartridge paper that we can use, or I mainly use my sketchbook. However, I did purchase this, which is one of the pricey ones. I am always like really annoyed with the price of watercolour paper. So this is from WH Smith, if you can't tell. Let's get the camera to focus on that instead of me. 12 sheets, and it was something like £12. I'm like, what? That's ridiculous. But yeah, so I haven't done much. Oh, there's some of my practice stuff. So this is the cartridge paper that I'd get from school. This is just me practicing in the holidays. That's a hand. Oh my god. And this, oh my god. This is what I was practicing in the holidays. This is awful. A waste of a watercolour paper, but I suppose you can tell that it's a lot more sturdy. There's no bobbling, There's nothing like that. So yes, if you're looking for watercolour paper, then that's where I got mine, WH Smith. Next, I'll go on to like brushes and things like that. So I have some in bags because sometimes I take these into school, and it just makes sure that they don't get like squished or whatever. Okay, so once again, another budget item, palette knives. I got a thing of 3, so I got like, I don't know whether you can see. Let's see if the camera can focus on that. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I've got this pointy one. I'm really not very good at explaining things, so there's that one. There's that one. Again, camera, focus. There we go. Flat, no angle to it. And then there's that one, which is basically just angled. I think I use this one the most for mixing. I don't know. I don't really know how to use palette knives. I just use them when my artists that I study use them. Wilko. Amazing. Like, I don't know about the quality of palette knives, let's face it. I say like I care about the quality of some of these things, but this stuff, if it works, it works, and this works for me. So I got a trio of 3 from Wilko, and I can't imagine it's more than a couple of quid. So yeah, I didn't want to spend too much on palette knives because I don't use them enough. I think these were slightly more expensive. I don't think they were that bad. This is only a few of the pack. So these are brushes, if you can't tell. I how I didn't introduce that. I got these from Coleman's, and they came in a pack of like maybe 12 or something. You know, they get the whole array of things. So they go from ones that look like that. Let's see, there you go. So this is a big thick one that I use for my backgrounds, all the way to thin ones like this. And I think the brand, it does say Royal and Langnickel. Again, I'm I'm not that fussed when it comes to brushes. The only ones I am fussed about, and so these are just, I use for acrylics mainly. Actually, that's the only thing I've ever used these for. They work fine. They're pretty covered in paint by now, but they work. They do tend to peel, you know, the outside of the brush handle tends to peel, but again, I don't really care about that. Next brushes that I wanted to talk about were in my watercolour palette, which I'll show you in a minute. These 2 are the ones I use most often, just because of the work that I tend to do is quite detailed. So I have this one from, again, Royal and Langnickel, and I think that's the same as well. Yeah, so all of these are from R&L, you know, with the little crown. This one, so this is just a round brush head, and it's in size 5. This is the one I use most often for my watercolours. The one thing I hate is that the plastic never goes in properly, and then you end up with frayed brushes. And then this one is my second one of these, and I really do like these. These are my really fine detail brushes. I've used this for acrylic and watercolour. You might have seen this brush on my Instagram already. Let's have a look. There you go. That is my DD brush. It's a size 3/0, round mini, it says. Again, I have no idea about brush sizes. I just go, yeah, that looks about right. So this is what I use for a lot of my acrylic and watercolour work when I'm going really detailed. So it's helped me when I'm studying Henrietta Harris. You can see that on my Instagram. And some of her work has really small lines, but I wanted to try and use it in a watercolour, and it worked. So there you go. Again, Coleman's, these were individuals, and they were more expensive than buying a pack. So I think this was like 3 quid maybe. These normally do come with the plastic cover, but I've lost it on both of my brushes. The first one of these I actually bent because I'd left it in the water for too long, so don't do that. Fine liners, another budget one, £1.99 from B&M, and I've only used 3 so far. So these are 0.4mm, 8 in a pack, extra fine tip for precision writing and drawing. Basically, I just use these for writing in my sketchbook, also my bullet journal, if you've seen my bullet journal planning video recently. And if I remember one of my artists, I can't remember who they were now, but they use like black outlines, and I use that. I haven't tried these when you like try and bleed the ink. I haven't tried that with that. I normally use biro, but I don't know how well they do because obviously they are only £1.99, and they don't say whether they're water soluble or not. But yeah, they're one of those pens that are like triangular shaped, so they're actually really nice to hold. But again, you don't need to go splashing out on really like expensive pens if all you're going to do is write with them like I do. Next one, I've got 3 sets of pencils, and I'm going to be honest, I barely ever use these, but I'd put these in there because they might be useful, I don't know. I got given these, and I think when I've used them, they've worked, so I'll put them in. I have to admit, I've never used these. These are coloured pastel pencils, sorry, and then these are watercolour pencils. Basically, I just don't use these because I don't use that media in general, not because of this brand. When I use watercolour, I use actual watercolour palette, which I'll show you in a minute, not the watercolour pencils. And pastels, I have my own oil pastels, so although I would be interested to see how these turn out because it's hard to get, obviously, precision lines with oil pastels. Yeah, B&M, again, when it's there, it's like a couple of quid. So this is more the high-end stuff now. So, firstly, one of my favourites, acrylic, depending on what the artist is. So I have always got, since like year 11, I've been using these Dala Rowney acrylics. So I get these from Hobbycraft. They're like 3-4 quid a tub, maybe 2 quid, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think they're 2 quid. 2 quid per tube, which isn't too bad because I don't use that much of it. So the thing is with acrylic is that when I went to Hobbycraft, I was faced with like all of this huge selection of colours, and you get overwhelmed with what colours you actually need. I only stick to prime, white, black and green and brown. They're the colours that I get. So I've got my red, which is cadmium red deep hue, and then I've got my yellow, which is cadmium yellow deep hue, and then my blue, which is phthalo, but I have no idea how to say that name, phthalo blue or whatever it is. Blue is 143, yellow is 618 and red is 504. If you wanted to look at the numbers, there you go, that's what they look like. Oh, there you go, camera's focusing finally. So they're the graduate acrylic Dala Rowney tubes. You just buy them singularly for £2. I know you can get a selection, but obviously I choose just the prime, so I don't use some of the colours that are in them. Then I get the green, sap green, number 375, and then the black and the white, and then the brown. Brown is burnt umber, because I find I can never make a good brown, so I always just get a tube anyway. 225, it's good for my when I'm trying to dull out skin tones as well. And then white and black, so I've just got black, that's an inventive name, 026, and then titanium white 011. I don't know what's number 1, I've never seen it and I really want to find it, but they're the acrylics I use. Hobbycraft, although I think you can get them online. Yeah, £2. Okay, so the next things are inks. Now these are another things that I purchased through the school, so I have no idea how much they actually cost. For me, they cost me a couple of quid, no more. I use that side for a palette sometimes. I've just got a selection of inks. I don't use these a lot, but I do when I start to experiment in my sketchbook. So they're really good quality, I think. I don't have a lot of colours, but they're the colours I need. So I've got like white and then a couple of oranges and reds, greens, blues, browns, black. That's it. I think the brand is, I can't see it on there, Koh-I-Noor. That's literally all I can tell you about these. Okay, last few things are the highest like expense that I don't know where I'm going with that sentence. They're the most expensive things I own in terms of art. So the first one, and this is my favourite one by far. This is the palette. You might have seen this. Oh no, my camera's battery's about to run out. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, right, where were we? Camera battery just died. This is the rubbish one. I don't know why I left it in whilst I was filming, but anyway, we're on the good battery now, so we should be alright. This is the palette I was on about. Is the Winsor & Newton. I don't know how many things there are. Basically, if you search Winsor & Newton watercolour palette, you can probably pick it up. I found this, as in I first saw this when I was watching other art videos on YouTube. I saw this palette keep popping up, and I thought, I'm going to save up for this and I'm going to get one of my own, because my watercolours at school, I don't like them, but they're fine. But some of the ones, I like to use the ones in the pots rather than the palettes at school, and some of them just aren't great, so I decided to invest in my own. Okay, so I've just done a quick search, and this normally retails for about 36 quid, which I think is great money for what you get. So this is what the inside looks like. So you get two, oh my god, I don't want to drop this. You get two like foldable palette things. I think this is great because it's the kind of material that collects the water, like the water's, it repels it, that's the word. And so the water stays in clumps and then dries, and then you can reuse it. So I've got like my skin tones, and then to be honest, I can clear a lot of this off. This is when I was doing my artist copies and I needed the same colour over and over again. And then in here are little individual like trays, individual little trays. You can see which ones get used more than others. But basically some of these are stuck in now, but you can take them out and arrange them how you want. I just arranged them how they came. And yeah, I don't actually know. I assume you can like purchase new ones of like these little individual things. They're probably going to be ridiculously expensive, like £1 for this or whatever. But to be honest, is that expensive? It lasts so long. I've had this since, I want to say, the beginning of year 11, so 2 years now. I've barely scratched the surface and the quality is incredible. So really recommend. So this is what I was using in my art study with me that I uploaded like earlier this week. Someone asked about that, so that's the palette. Next are both Faber-Castell items, so, or Faber-Castell, I don't know how you pronounce it. First of all, oil pastels. This was, I think, Louis' present for me for my birthday, beginning of year 12, so a year ago now. Stupid me, didn't know how to open the box, so I opened it this way and then realised it's just a sleeve. So, Ella didn't realise that, so she tore the lid. Oh, okay. Let's just throw everything everywhere. Yep, so this is the little rack of oil pastels. Once again, I love the quality of these because they are, like, I don't know, they're just incredible. Like, they blend really nicely but also give really, really nice strong colours. And again, they've got a whole mixture of tones. So they've got like the skin tones down here, and then with your greys, and then you've got your brighter colours. But everything is there. Oh no, this was, I used this in year 11 as well, so 2 years I've had this. Because this blue has been used down so much because I did so much work. Louis was wearing a blue t-shirt in all of my photos for year 11, so it got used a lot. Okay, so just doing a quick search, it looks like it's between 13 and 17 quid for that tray. So again, really good value. And then lastly, more Faber-Castell, and I can hear the pencils like dropping because I've used some of them so much. This is a set of 60 coloured pencils, and this is what I got for my birthday last year. This is what I got in preparation for A Levels. Because at GCSE, I actually did, if you've seen my artwork for the GCSE coursework and exam walkthrough video, you know what I mean if you've seen it. I used W.H. Smith coloured pencils for all of my pieces there. So they were like a tenner for 30. And I used them all through year 11. They were good, but obviously they weren't like amazing. And I thought, do you know what, I really want to improve my coloured pencil stuff, so let's get something a bit more pricey. This is the most expensive thing, mainly due to its size more than anything else. I can kind of lift it up, so oh Jesus, there you go. There is all of the coloured pencils. This is a pack of 60. I think you can go up to 128. This tray was like £62 or something. That was my main birthday present last year. Now, that works out about £1 a pencil. But for the quality of these, it's just insane. Like, yeah, I'm really, really happy with these. I'm really happy with all of this stuff, otherwise I wouldn't be using it. So, apart from those watercolour pencils, which I don't have a clue. Oh yeah, I forgot to say this. These are my graphite pencils I got from Hobbycraft. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't used them. They're just the generic, like, you know, you go from H to B or whatever. No, F to B, and then you get HB. I use a HB pencil for all of my stuff, but I think I might need to get out the bold pencils soon. But you get a really good selection. The only issue I sometimes find, and it may be my fault, is that sometimes they sharpen, like, when you sharpen them, the tips come out. So you can't sharpen them really, really sharp, but you get them sharp enough. So that's the only pet peeve. But for 60 quid, I'm very happy. And once again, they're going to last me a long, long time. Okay, so now I have completely trashed my bed with all of the art supplies. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. Once again, some of this stuff is really, really good quality and like really worth saving for. So if you're able to, then I'd really recommend some of these products. And also, you don't need to splash out on things that you don't eat, you don't use that often. So things like the palette knives, I've never had an issue with them. They cost me like a couple of quid from Wilko several years ago. Thank you very much for watching, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!